when she's out of there.
That's it, yeah.
Better offers come along. But with some, doofus off Facebook or somewhere, they're not going to get a better offer.
Well, that's right. But not that I don't think there's talent to be found in the podcasting community or whatever it is. It's just that
absolutely
it makes, it's. I remember one person we had interviewed for a position for a show that we were thinking of developing, and this person was kind of like doing sweepers for the local radio station, the bricks and mortar radio station.
Right.
And we were going to develop an entire several $1,000 half-hour show on our network, and this person just felt like it was more behooving to be doing sweepers at a brick and mortar station rather than have his own shows, hang out with the people we hang out with and do the things that we do. And he felt it was, needless to say, I don't think he's working there anymore, and I don't think he's podcasting even anymore. So
no,
that's just what happens. But that was always my issue with the podcasters, because that was the mentality. If you're on internet radio or if you're broadcasting via the internet, then you're not a real broadcaster.
But you see, here's the other thing, and this is very important to you folks at home, so check this out. The important thing is that because internet broadcasting is a new medium,
right,
and the FCC isn't regulating it,
right,
which means that all these idiots with a $5 headset and a laptop will get on the air and spew about what I used to think was conspiracy theories and aliens and all that stuff. And
there's a lot of those too. That's how the medium got started. Yeah.
The government went and did 911 and all that stuff. Okay, all those people, they didn't have to do pirate radio anymore and risk being caught because, well, now you're on the internet.
Right.
So to have a credible person and or company try to embark on the goal of creating a broadcast empire through this new medium, this new technology that you're listening to us right now. It's crystal clear. It's HD. You can still bring a good professional product. The difference is the professionalism of the people.
Right.
And that level of talent and having or not having the ability to recognize that you have a voice and an ability to speak to people and have them want to listen to you,
Right, but that's also why the sponsors that make radio and television, by the extension of that, won't touch podcasters.
Right.
Because there's no regulation. They're putting their entire fortunes that they've spent decades building at risk if they hire some podcaster that just can't stop swearing. Or
may or may not do the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's why we created the National Association of Internet Broadcasters. And
NAIB.
That's right. And there's a regulatory commission now being formed and things like that it's not out to be the FCC and we're going to fine you and we're going to do this. It's to create a professional standard.
That's right.
So, and that was going back, since this is a retrospective of how Straight Talk began and why, then, for those that might be new listeners of ours, like my husband said, he's film and television 17 years. I'm a screenwriter. I've been in the entertainment industry, ironically, as a singer, initially.
Mm-hmm.
But, then into film and TV and stuff like that, design and all that behind the scenes kind of thing. But when we married and moved here and started our life and our family together, it wasn't in the New York metro area. So doing film and TV was kind of out of our reach at the moment.
Right.
And I was taking care of an elderly mom who has since passed away in 2011. So, we couldn't do film and TV at the time, but we had to work, and this is what we do.
And if you're asking the question, yes, we did recast a new mother.
Yes, right.
We have one.
But that's the thing, and that's how this whole entire concept was born, because just like we would professionally structure our television shows or a film, we do with our radio.
Right.
And our radio shows also.
Yep.
Pacing's really important to me. All those things are really important to me. So.
Alrighty. Well, that's all good stuff. Isn't that good stuff?
That's great stuff.
I think it's awesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take another quick 2-minute break, folks. Got to go get some more coffee or something, and we'll be right back with more Straight Talk with Kate and Crash.
So do you guys think being fast is better than being slow?
Yes!
It's better to be fast, to not be bitten by a werewolf, and then you'll be turned into one, and you'll have to stay in, and then you'll have to get shaved because you'll be too hot, and then you're like, which means I wish I was back to a human.
What? It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network for your iPhone 5.
With 160 more miles per tank, the distances aren't getting shorter. The trucks are going farther. The new 2013 Ram 1500. With the best-in-class fuel economy, engineered to move heaven and earth. Guts, glory, Ram.
I stood outside assessing the situation. I knew it could be rough in there, but how rough, there was no way to know for sure.
Hey, guys.
Daddy, it's pink!
But hey, a new house, it's a blank canvas, and we got a great one, thanks to a really low mortgage rate from Navy Federal Credit Union.
Pink.
So she's a princess. You got a problem with that?
Hoorah! Hoorah!
4 million members, 4 million stories. Navy Federal Credit Union.
The rich Sony sound and Vio. Sound out.
Sony.
HTLA Radio One.
And welcome back, everybody, to Straight Talk with Kate and Crash at HTLA Radio 1 New York. It's 43 degrees right now in Central Park, and it looks like snow tonight, tomorrow, and maybe even the next day.
Woot, woot.
Oot, oot.
I love I prefer the rainy. If it's going to blizzard, okay with the snow. I just want it to blizzard, but...
Okay, well, you know what? We've had this conversation, and I wanted to move to Florida. Florida doesn't have snow, actually.
No, they have giant bugs and typhoons, and we've had that conversation.
And with all good typhoons, there's rain.
I know. I love the
Lots of rain.
stormies, but it's so scary.
Well, that's what I'm there for. I scare off and beat off the big bugs. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say that. I do something with bugs.
You beat up the bugs. You beat up.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, we don't have time for that. Yeah, so I beat up the bugs. That's what I do. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, unless they're spiders, then I take care of them. I carry them and I put them outside and I speak to them and they're my friends.
Yeah, that's really kind of odd. That's one thing I'll say about you that I've found is quite odd, the way you talk to spiders and they seem to listen to you.
Well, they do. And, butterflies land on me and things. I just have a rapport with insects. It's crazy. I do. It is, They know I won't hurt them, I think. It's something in my pheromones or something.
It's something, all right. I'll tell you that much. So you are listening to HTLA Radio 1 New York at HTLA973.com if you're wanting to check out the old website there.
And available on iTunes and YouTube. As well.
iTunes, YouTube. I think we put this out to Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, YouTube, Tube Time.
Correct.
All that kind of
That
stuff.
new sexy Flash website coming. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know.
Well, that's because it's my design.
And I saw you working on that a little bit today, and I got to say it's looking good, and it's kind of neat the way you can do all that stuff.
Thank you.
I'm just a lame old template guy.
Don't
if
let
it looks
him kid
sexy,
you.
I'll
He's a
throw it
graphics
up there. But
guy.
well, yeah, okay, I'll give you that, and a photographer and all that good stuff. But
Right.
You've got the touch, I think, when it comes to websites. I don't know.
No, really. Well, I appreciate that. And my newest, I should probably, it's still a little bit under wraps, but there's a new Life and Style channel coming your way.
Oh.
And it's called Pout, and it's a new Life and Style channel for the feminine movement. So it's all Fierce Kitty Omni Media backed, and honestly, I'm hosting the channel. And
Are you guys going to have a parade?
No, we don't need a parade for being normal.
Well, I'm looking forward to having George Takei on the show here at Straight Talk. Because
yes, this season. Oh my.
I'm going to do my impression of him, sure. But I want him, yes, I want Captain Sulu, to explain to me how he figures he gets a parade and I don't.
Right, yeah.
And here's the other thing.
But we love him, so we're
Well, we do. We do.
We have shows, I think, scheduled in that vein as well too now, because I guess the Lifestyle is also another good venue for such like that, but
well, absolutely. But I want to get back to the feminine blog.
Okay.
Tell us more about that.
Well, like I said, it's a life and style blog, and those that have followed me personally, when I used to have thefiercekitty.com as my fan site, and some of my other endeavors, I cook, I design, it's all about, I'm kind of the cooler Martha Stewart kind of thing, the sexier. Yeah, exactly.
Saucy Stewart.
Right. So, but so it's life, it's style, it's design, and it's based on, being a woman in the 21st century that doesn't have to emasculate the men in her life to be a woman. We can still have, obviously, professional positions because that's what we do. But, we can also have dinner on the table every night at 6 o'clock and
absolutely
make the men in our lives feel like men and, know how to do that. Because it's not that we don't want to. I think it's in this generation that we're not taught to anymore. Men aren't taught how to be men. And, women and girls aren't taught how to be feminine women and girls because it's all about your rights and, doing that and going after that. And that is a huge thing to have lost. And there's an extraordinary power in being feminine that girls and women don't understand and are losing access to, I believe.
From a psychological point of view, because I know you studied that too, isn't it fair to say that even the most hardy of feminists still has those same wants and needs inside?
Well, they do, except for the most diehard, and those are the ones that are trauma-based feminists, such as Susan Powter.
Right.
Susan Powter wasn't a feminist until her husband cheated on her and took everything from her and robbed her of what she knew to be who she was. And then she became the Susan Powter that we know and love. And, but those are trauma-based feminists. And then you have the ones that are prejudice-based feminists, which just grow up hearing their mother and her friends talk about feminism and following those kind of footsteps.
Yeah.
And then as for my part, I was never a feminist, obviously, but I raised my daughter alone for 10 years, and I became incredibly educated during that time period. I didn't date. It was all about just Gia and my self-betterment. And to me, that's the most positive side of feminism that there is. Mm-hmm. Your own self-development.
Yeah.
It's like I always say, if you want to be the tallest building on the block, then you build yourself the tallest building. You don't knock down all the other buildings around you.
Okay.
And that's what feminism does in its present state. It says that women can only be empowered women if we knock down all the men around them.
Right.
Around them. So, and I don't believe that. I believe that I've always believed change only occurs from the inside anyway. So, you use your femininity to your own advantage. And, there's a huge thing lacking. And mm-hmm. We've done our feminism shows, and everyone that we talk to, even the diehard feminists, have to agree that feminism had its place.
Oh, hell. We've talked to former CEOs of international corporations, dear.
Right.
Who have also...
Women.
Women who have unequivocally agreed with you and couldn't even come up with any kind of an argument for it, yeah.
Right, because what do you do when you take both parents out of the home and nobody is there to raise the kids and da-da-da, and this is where we are, so...
That's right. So now, getting back to the show, I'd like to actually talk about the future of Straight Talk. What do you see it growing into this year, next year?
I'm very glad you asked me that because this is exactly why I kind of wanted to do a sentimental retrospective because Straight Talk is about to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to, and news to you.
I'm going to get my walking papers.
It's just the producer. Yeah, no, pink slip after the show. No. It's going to be the same format, clearly. It's us. We work, innumerably unequivocally well together, and
That's because your hand's always on my side.
yes, that. That's because I cook so well for you.
Well,
Are you
that too.
kidding?
Yep.
But